Hello, grade 11 students. We are going to continue the lesson of soaps, and this is the last part of this lesson. At the end of this video, you will be able to identify the parts of soap, to define the concept of hydrophobic and hydrophilic, describe the mechanism of detergency. First of all, we are going to start with the parts of soap. The general formula of soap is RCOO- and A+, such that RCOO- represents the anionic part of the soap which comes from fatty acids. It's called carboxylate ions and it's responsible of cleaning part or detergency. Whereas an A+, it is the cationic part of the soap which comes from the strong base. The anionic part of the soap, RCOO-, has a negative charge at one end and a long hydrocarbon chain at the other end, which is represented by R. R and COO-, R represents the tail of the anionic part and COO- represents the head of this anionic part. What is the difference between the tail and the head? Tail is insoluble in water, whereas head is soluble in water. Tail, it's called hydrophobic. What do you mean by hydrophobic? It means water-fearing. Or lipophilic, it means fat-loving. Whereas head, it's called hydrophilic, it means water-loving. And lipophilic, it means fat-fearing. Detergency. The head is the hydrophilic part of the RCOO- ion or carboxylate ions. It loves water, so this part must be immersed in water. As you see here in this document, this is water. This is the soap and it is represented in this way. As you see here, the head is oriented toward water since it is hydrophilic. It loves water, so it will be oriented toward water. On the other hand, the tail, which is represented here in black, is the hydrophobic part of soap, so it hates water and it's arranged outside water. So this document represents how the head of soap is oriented or is directed toward water, and the tail, which is hydrophobic, water-fearing, is oriented away from water or outside water. Formation of micelle and what is a micelle? First of all, when sodium soaps are mixed with water, micelles are formed. How these micelles are formed, now we are going to know. The micelles are made up of agglomeration of some tens to 100 carboxylate ions. The hydrophilic part, which is the head pointed outside because it's attracted to water molecules, this is the head. It's pointed outside from the oil droplet or the dirt toward the water since it is water-loving or hydrophilic. Whereas the tail, which is the hydrophobic part, this is the tail, it's represented here. It's pointed toward inside, toward the oil droplet, since it is lipophilic or fat-loving. Okay, this shape is called the micelle. So in this way, the micelle is formed. How do soaps clean? Here we are going to know the mechanism of detergency and how it occurs. First of all, most dirt stick to the clothes and body parts by thin film of oil. When we soak a dirty piece of tissue in water containing soap, or when we wash our hands with soap and water, a large number of carboxylate ions surround the oil with hydrophobic part, which is fat-loving. Here you can see this green part is the surface, and this which is colored yellow is the oil or the dirt. When soap comes in contact with dirt, you can see that the tail is oriented toward the dirt since it is lipophilic and the dirt is oil, whereas the head is oriented toward water since it is hydrophilic, it loves water. While hydrophilic ends dissolving in the water, as I mentioned, when more water is added, And after shaking the dirt, so when I add more water to this and I shake well, the dirt is detached from the cloth in a spherical shape called micelle. So this is the spherical shape, which is micelle, and the dirt is detached from the cloth in a form of micelle. And then micelles are washed away, thus getting rid of the dirt and leave the surface clean. So at the end, after detaching this dirt, the surface will be clean, as you see in this document. Here is the mechanism of detergency. So this is summarizes what I've explained about the mechanism of detergency. First of all, soap or detergent dissolves in water. Here we have a surface and the grease or oil. You can consider it as oil or dirt. In the second step, surfactant ions orient themselves in grease and water. So here the tail is toward the oil or the dirt, since it is hydrophobic, and the head is oriented toward water since it is hydrophilic. Then after that, agitation begins to separate the dirt from surface. So here the dirt is starting to be separated from the surface. The process continues, and in this way, or in these two steps, the micelle begins to form. At the end, the grease or the oil is detached from the surface, and the cleaning is complete, and the surface becomes clean. At the end, you have to solve this application and to submit your answers after 20 minutes. The answers of these questions are found in the video. So what you have to do is to rewatch the video well in order to answer these questions. And thank you for your listening.